ESPN's coverage of the Women's World Volleyball Grand Prix 1998. This, the last match in the Shanghai pool to see who finishes in top spot here in China, and this promises to be a good one. China with a record of 7-1, taking on the Brazilians, who rattled off 5 straight matches after dropping their opening 3 in Macau. Brazil is very hot. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. He Chi, number 7, the starting setter, back into the lineup for the Chinese after resting for the first 2 matches here in Shanghai. Wu Yangmei, number 5, a sneaky outside hitter. Li Yizi, a good receiver of serve. Sun Yue, number 11, a lady that can do it all. Chu Aihua and Wang Lina are the 2 outside hitters for a deceptively fast Chinese starting 6. Brazil will counter with these 6 women. A couple of changes in the starting lineup. Fernanda Doval and Lila Barros. Normally in the starting lineup, they'll come off the bench. Hilma Caldera, number 9. It's been a long time since we've seen her in the starting lineup. The setter is Hilia Souza. She'll be feeding those outside hitters, Raquel Silva and Anna Conley. Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Farquhar. Joining me, Chuck Schreiner. China has a record of 7-1, but it's hard to imagine how they're going to deal with the outside hitting of a white-hot Brazilian lineup.
Oh, you're right, Sean. You know, Brazil has a lot of household names in that lineup, including Silva, Diaz, and Barros.
As we watch Chu Aihua blast one cross-court, a lady that's just getting better as this tournament progresses.
Yeah, the thing about China is they're great at decoying at the net. You need to watch that today. And off these decoying comes these quick sets coming out of this decoy. Also add to that team speed, so China very competitive.
Brazil forcing China to scramble here. The set from Souza, back row attack, handled well by Li Yizi. We talked about how she reserves these deep hits well, and China punches it into the middle, sending Verna Diaz sprawling.
Yeah, a couple things happen on that particular play. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see it again, but the short hit by China in evidence really early on in this match.
Li goes right into the middle with the serve. There's Caldera, and she drops one into the Chinese backcourt. Nothing that Li could do with that ball.
Well, Caldera taking a little bit off of it, sacrificing the pace again, as so many of these players will for the sake of accuracy. So it worked out well for her that time.
Hilma Caldera on the 92 and 96 Olympic squad for the Brazilians. Wang tried to hit one into the middle. Now Verna Diaz, tight angle, the cut shot not fooling the Chinese backcourt. Now Wang Lina dropping the boom on Caldera.
Just a great set there by He Chi of China, all the way from that right-hand side, going cross-court. Look at it. Picture perfect there. 2 blockers, just goes right between them and hits that space.
The spike serving of Chu. She is good at that. However, that ball finds its way into the netting.
Well, that's always a chance you take with those hard spike serves. Percentage not real high.
Brazil holding a 6-2 head-to-head record against the Chinese. Back row attack down the side. Sun Yue, one of the top-ranked diggers in the Grand Prix, pulls that one out. Souza over for Diaz. Diaz right into the hands of Li. He was dummying, and there the bump set, she misses, and she lets Chu know about it, saying get out of the way.
That's right. She stepped right in her territory. She had her target all picked up, and then number 10 over there, Wang Zilin, gets right in the middle of it.
Over for Wang. Wang, the ball just a blur as it traveled cross court.
Oh, great cross court. Watch this set again by Chi, just putting it right in there for her. Not much reaction time, nothing the Brazil girls could do it in the backcourt on the other side.
So Wang, who just registered that kill, will go to the spike serve. Souza tries a second hit dump. That has been effective for a lot of countries here in the Grand Prix.
It has, and especially against China, because China likes to leave that middle open and then converge on it as the play develops.
Souza, the setter, on the serve. For a back row attack from Chu, gets past the net and past the blocking Karen Negreo.
But Chu just loads up and fires that time, swinging it from the middle position there, coming up from the back row, just going straight into the blockers.
Chu Aiwa's got to rank as one of the big surprises here of the 98 Grand Prix. Quick set there in the middle, and Negreo able to bury it.
Well, just taking a page out of the Chinese book that time as far as strategy goes. Just straight up and down by Negreo.
Verna Diaz, the 27-year-old, hits a floater. Quick set there. Souza bumps. They're on the side, finding it through. He Chi She didn't know where the ball had gone.
Yeah, I don't think Silva did either. That you saw she had to reach back for that set. She was just luckily got it in between the blocker and the net.
Brazil up by 1. Second serve for Diaz, saved by the libero Chui Yong-mei. Sun Yue busts one through.
Wow, there was convergence of blockers over there. I don't know how Sun actually did that. It'd be great to see it again. 3 blockers over there in a little triangle. Sun was able to penetrate through.
He comes out of the Yunnan province of China. Caldera, the cut shot. And when she finds her line, look out.
Oh, just super play by Caldera. Great. We're going to get a chance to see it again. Look at her load up here. Full extension. Momentum carrying her right at the net.
Karen Negreo plays for Let's in the Brazilian league. This is Sun, blocked. And they find the end line.
So they're saying that it touched beyond the end line here, or right before it, so Brazil remains, has possession.
Crowd of 4,000 on hand here at the Baochen Stadium. And they like what they see on that ball. Chu Ai-hwa, explosive right arm.
Yeah, getting that short set all wound up, and you saw the decoy coming from the right-hand side. That's what China does so well.
Sun Yue from a long way back hits the floater. Souza, one-handed bump. China not fooled by that. Now it's going to be Wong. Saved by Diaz. Caldera goes up. Back row attack from Diaz, catches the net, slows the ball down. Free ball opportunity for the Chinese, and they waste no time. Chu Ai-hwa with impunity from the right side.
Yeah, she's able to isolate Anna Sanglard on that particular play. Watch her go straight down the line at her.
So make it a point for the Chinese within 1 here at 2-3. Saved by the libero Surigai, and then confusion in the Brazilian front court.
Yeah, miscommunication there. I don't think she was expecting the short set. She was expecting something a little bit higher. You could see her just go up in the air, and by the time she came down at the same time the ball did.
Back-to-back points for the Chinese. Souza for Caldera, saved by He. And then China concedes the free ball. No one there to handle the attack. Caldera, dump shot. And we get a net violation. They're going to call Chu Ai-hwa on that.
Yeah, nothing much she could do with that. She'd already been faked out there on the decoy on the left side.
Raquel Silva, not Stilva, as you see in the graphic. For Wong. Wong with a blast. Surigai, yes. And it looks like Brazil's going to sneak this one back in. Chi, the set at the net. There's the decoying you were talking about.
Yeah, just beautiful. They worked that to perfection. In my mind, better than anybody else in the tournament. You watch number 12 swinging around. That's a Chu again. So just brilliant decoying exhibited there by Lee.
Lee, though, not able to finish it up. And she goes into the net on the serve. Caldera will now respond. So you take a look at Surigai, the oldest player in the tournament at the age of 35. Back setting there, Wu Yong-mei dummy. Surigai comes up to bump. And Verna Diaz down the line.
Well, Verna Diaz, that time you saw her go up, and the Chinese blocking formation had everything blocked to her right, so she goes down the left sideline looking right, so sort of a decoy, and you'll see Brazil do that a lot.
Turns it around. Wu in the middle. Normally rotates from the middle to the outside, but there she blasts it from midcourt.
And right away, China trying to take possession of the middle. Now, if they can open that up and spread out the Brazilian defenders, they'll have more spaces to go to.
Chu, her serve has been shaky here in the opening stages of set 1. Brazil and China have not met yet in the '98 Grand Prix. This is the first time they have hooked up. Back set there for Wu. Souza up for Diaz against 2 Chinese blockers, and she goes with a little overland route. So we'll get the automatic timeout. Brazil on top here by 2. By 2 here in the opening set. Final match of the Shanghai pool. Brazilian blocking there. You see how they seal the net against the Chinese attack.
Real stalwart stuff there at the net, double blocking. Sean, we were talking about, you know, China has a very good record, 7-1. But you have to remember 3 of those victories have come against the worst team in the tournament, the USA.
USA winless through their first 7 matches. That blast down the right side, Sun Yue laid off it and the ball carried out.
Yeah, great decision making by Sun that time.
Where would this Chinese team be without number 11? Souza back setting the back row attack from Diaz. China quickly getting that ball up. Souza sets it up for Diaz once more. Now He, strong side effort there, not the best one for Wu. Negreo goes into the net. Souza had set the table wonderfully for number 6, but she couldn't close it.
Well, both these teams on that particular point trying to play finesseful, and it was messed up on the other side first by Wu Yanmei, who actually got the bad set. And then again on the other side by Brazil.
There's Diaz, one going off the net. A little second hit dump. Brazil not fooled by that. Now going the other way for Sun Yue. That goes long. Sun had the backcourt open to her, couldn't hit.
Yes, she did, and then that was a very nice set too, delivered by He. So lots of spaces there, and Sun just can't hit it.
Souza plays for Unibon in the Brazilian Domestic League. Quick set in the middle. Wu Yangmei has that blocked, but Negreo didn't get her hands up in time. Ball carries outside, side out China.
And you see the swarming defensive blocking exhibited there by Brazil. They were there. They're just unlucky that they didn't get the bounce off the forearm.
Diaz, quick set. That ball just going inches off her hand. Enough for Negreo to hit the rocket.
Now watch this. Boom, just going right into it. Excellent set there.
The floater handled by the libero Chui. Dink shot by China. 5 women inside the attack line for the Brazilians, and it's working for them. They're flooding that front court. It's been effective here against China.
Yeah, they're just coming at China in waves at the moment. They're switching up very, very well, showing different looks. They've used the short set, the long set. So China having to work a lot harder than they had the previous match against USA.
Sun, a dump shot, spotted an opening there on the left and took it.
And we also saw against the USA last time, they didn't have to go to that dump shot because there were so many spaces already there. That's going to be an entirely different story now, so they might as well get that aspect of their game cranked up early.
The quick serve down the side, and that catches the line. Conley, number 5, laid off it, and that was a mistake. See China setting up their defense here, preparing for the attack of the Brazilians. He, an ace on her last shot, goes long on her second serve.
You can see the strategy of China trying to keep the ball deep, so Brazil has to work a little bit harder to work the ball up to the net.
On a tight one. Li Yuzi wisely stepping out of the way. Normally your instincts would tell you to swat that back, but she knew it was carrying out.
Yeah, that's just experience, you know, unlike that last game that we saw when the Americans are just all over the place. So much more competitive match here that we're going to see.
Caldera.
Oh, boy.
Rips one on the line. What a cut shot from the Brazilian veteran.
Oh, she can sky, can't she? She just goes cross court there, right against the grain. Catches the players out of position. She also had that left sideline open for her.
Silva will go to the spike serve.
Oh.
And a mistake. Oh, boy. Taste in the leather there were the Chinese blockers.
Well, that's one of the things that the good hard spike serve can do for you. That first touch is usually very weak. It came straight back over the net and was just pounced on.
Normally China, one of the better teams in the world at receiving the serve. That's not the best run from Wong. Free ball opportunity, so twice in a row Raquel Silva has worked it either for a service winner or an immediate error from the Chinese.
Yeah, you get that top spin on that spike serve, and the ball is very heavy when it hits the forearms, the little platform that you've got to use to propel the ball up into the air.
This timeout called by Long Ping at 9-5, and I continue to wonder about this. They're 1 point away from the automatic timeout, so why use your timeout at this point?
Well, it's just a momentum breaker. She saw that Brazil was on a roll, and anything she can do to break up that, say they can come back out of the timeout, get a couple quick points here. And then even if they do go the automatic timeout, they're down 10-7 instead of 10-5. I think she's thinking along those lines.
There you see Bernardo Rezende, the Brazilian coach, his 5th year in charge of the women's squad, a former player on the Brazilian men's team. Won a silver medal for Brazil at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. So Brazil on a roll here, as they have been throughout the Grand Prix. That misses wide.
Well, it didn't miss by much. You could see number 5 there, Wu Yanmei, just watching it all the way.
Brazil looking to improve on their world ranking, which currently sits at number 5. And I'm sure after this tournament, that's going to go up. Remember, Brazil and China have both already qualified for the Grand Prix finals in Hong Kong. And their seedings have been determined as we see Wu Yanmei rotate inside there. She goes into the middle to hit one mid-court.
Well, the success that China's had so far in this match has been right there, and they're able to isolate one-on-one with the blocking. Brazil just not moving the girls over there to counter.
And a Conley rips one down the right side.
And that's a little play that's getting very popular amongst these women at the Grand Prix here, just circling around the setter and going right side. We haven't seen it done too much the other way. Of course, we don't have a preponderance of left-handed hitters.
Flat serve there from Conley. Pushed over. Strong side set for Wang Li Na. But a little late in hitting it, and it carries out. So now we get the automatic timeout for the Brazilians as they go up by 5. It's a flat Chinese team here in set 1.
Well, it certainly is, and the things that were working for them in their previous match against the U.S. just are being stymied right now. So as a result of this, China looking a lot like a one-dimensional team, because every time they try and put the ball up in the air for the long set, it gets repelled. And the only time that they're successful is right in the middle so far with that little quick set. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and at least pick up a couple more options in their offense if they're going to be competitive against this awesome Brazil team.
There you see some of the dignitaries in attendance here at the Baochen Stadium. Remember, China still looking for their first Grand Prix title. Brazil, meanwhile, the only team to win the Grand Prix twice. They did it 2 years ago, 1996, and they turned the trick in 1994. There's a good shot of the Chinese assistant coach, Chen Zhonghe. So if there's one thing that you can say for this Chinese squad, they are resilient. I'm sure they'll easily shake off a 10-5 deficit.
Well, you know, first set, it's great to put down momentum, but it's not the end-all of the match. People usually say that that third set, if it's 1-1, is most critical.
He Chi back sets. Wu Yanmei had her attack glance off the net. Brazil was pulled right out of their shoes on this.
And look at that in the middle again. Look at the spacing between the two blockers up front there.
Wang spike serve down the middle, handled by Suragai. They go over for Diaz. Diaz with a ball that would have carried out, but Wang Li Na chose to play it, and she'll come right out for the libero Chui.
Yeah, that's a big mistake there. Wang Li Na is back there to just try and get the first touch back going the other way, not to dive all over the place. I think you could hear the players saying out, out also.
So China now trailing by 6 here. Wu, who plays on the Army squad in China's domestic league, hits the windmill serve. Raquel Silva calling for it. They go the other way for Diaz, and Diaz's shot is blocked into the signboards.
Well, the service that the Brazilian hitters are getting right now is just extraordinary. I can't even remember since the beginning of the match where we've had a bad first touch by Brazil, and then subsequent second touch has been outstanding also.
He Chi back setting there. And a shot that quickly is planted in the floor of Baochen Stadium.
Now that's more like it. That's what China has to do. Look, going the other way. Little back line hitting that time.
The setter can't pull that one out. You can see Souza scrambling to try and dig that one off the floor. No such luck. China makes a point, and they trail by 4 here at 10-6.
First touch error that we've seen from Brazil thus far.
Souza, quick set there. Karen Negreo flying in to take the shot.
Well, now Brazil starting opening up things in the middle here, going straight for the middle, isolation, one-on-one, and that would be no contest with Negreo's height advantage.
A quick turnaround there, Li Yuzi. So China getting their share of side outs here in set 1. They need some points in a hurry, though.
Yeah, that's the way it's going now. It's a little bit like a table tennis game, isn't it? It's just going back and forth, and we're looking at the offensive scheme of things. They're almost like mirror images of each other.
Sun Yue with the unforced error into the net. So Brazil will maintain their lead. So you get a good shot. The Brazilian front court. Souza, Caldera, and Negreo there in the middle hitter. Huchi back sets there for Chu, and you can see the Brazilian blocking, sealing off the net. That's good fundamental defense.
Sure is. Caldera all over the place. She's doing the job from the middle, and especially on that left-hand side as well, Sean. Remember, we have not seen Verna Diaz yet. Or sorry, number 8, Layla Barros, who is in the top 15 or 20 at this tournament in offensive categories.
Wong goes down the side. Sergei handles the serve. The back setting there. Finishing off the deal was Anna Conley. Sun Yue couldn't get there in time.
Really threading the needle there, Anna Conley. You saw the little triangular version of the blocking formation that the Chinese had. 2 in front followed by 1, almost like a little diamond shape, and Conley able to find the spacing in between those 3.
Caldera, a short floater, and the Chinese were surprised by that and concede the free ball over for Diaz, and Diaz a shot that floats onto the end line.
Oh, beautiful shot by Diaz, huh? That was about the only space. The Chinese girls, look, they do a good job of following the hitting. Had the back part of the court covered except for that one spot at the line.
In fact, they left the whole middle open. Wu Yang Mei quickly works the side out.
Well, that's good that China's getting out of what they were doing, just only going to the middle. Now they're trying, still the same set, still the quick little short set, but now they're trying it from different angles.
Verna Diaz slows it down, goes with a dink shot. Chu Ai-hua tried the pancake save in vain. 2
or 3 times in a row. Now Brazil is just going for these little spaces with the dump shot, showing lots of different looks here.
Huchi turns it around for Wu. Perhaps getting a little one-dimensional, going to number 5 too often. Diaz, meanwhile, starting to own that left side line.
Oh, she's just painting it, isn't she? I mean, that's about the 4th time. If you had a chart of it, you'd see it. Just right down that left sideline all the way to the end. Another one.
That's an ace towards the left. And Li Yan, the substitute, bedeviled by the Brazilian serving.
Well, what's happening is China's trying to cover that whole back area with just one girl. So Brazil able to pick out the spaces easily.
Front court gets into position. There's Diaz. Again, China leaving that whole midcourt open for the attacking of Brazil. Wong. Shot is pulled back. Now Caldera down the side. Huchi. Deep back set there, and that is a beauty.
Oh, that's the set of the match so far. Just a thing of beauty. Huchi, just, you can see her loft that ball. Look, no spin on it whatsoever. Right in the path of the approaching hitter.
Chu Ai-hua lays a Mikasa tattoo on Caldera. Wong spike serve. Little second hit dump from Souza. You know, good setters will pull that out 4, maybe 5 times in a match.
What's amazing is how they have the peripheral vision when they're up in the air to see where the spaces are, and then the continuance putting it into that space.
They go the other way for Sun Yue. No, say the Brazilian blockers.
Just blocked right like a stone wall there, Sean.
So Brazil take the first set easily, 15-6. In Shanghai, Brazil with a 1-set lead here over the Chinese, taking it 15-6. And they're doing it with the outside attacking there. You see Raquel Silva launch a missile from the left side. China has got to seal the net more often on the blocks.
And they're also doing it with great setting. They're getting great service, you know, from a couple different girls. They have 2 or 3. The ones that aren't hitting, basically everybody on Brazil's team can also set.
As we see Diaz hit an ace, and now China is starting to talk amongst themselves. A little frustrated here. Remember, the winner of this clinches the Shanghai pool. Both Brazil and China have already won a pool. China winning theirs in Bangkok. Brazil a winner in Fongsan. A blast that just misses the end line. Ooh, I thought that was going to be called in.
I did too. You know, part of China's problem is Brazil hits so well from the back row, so there's just really no way of knowing until the ball's up in the air which way the ball is going to end up. It's going to be a front line attack, a back line attack. It's going to be a short set, a long one.
Ilya Souza didn't set that one up very well for Negreo, who had no room at all to operate on the right.
Yeah, no room, way off balance. So the best thing she could do was try and just dunk it over the top of their heads, and she wasn't able to.
And a ball, the first touch, carries well outside, and you see what results. Quick set there. Brazilian blocking, keeping it alive. Hilya Souza. So she and Negreiro work the kinks out here in set 2.
A great quick set there. And it looks to me like the Brazilians are just stealing a page from the Chinese playbook here. They're working it better than the Chinese are at this moment.
Chi, quick set in the middle, blocked by the Brazilians. And, you know, for the statistics mavens out there, China's average spike reach 310 centimeters. Brazil only 301. But who's getting the better of the spiking?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Brazil is getting much the better of that exchange there. And for a couple different reasons. Brazil does, like we said, hits all over the place. So they always have the element of surprise going their way.
Liu Z dummies. They send it all the way right. Souza dives to say that. You can see how Brazil now starting to go with the 6-2 attack. However, Conley did not set that one up nicely at all. Yeah, she did. Like we said, all these Brazilian girls can set, but obviously some better than the others. Conley actually probably the second best setter on the team. And here's the Chinese setter, He, down the right side. Caldera bumps that up. She swarms in. You didn't see this from Brazil in their opening pool, did you, in Macau, where they lost 3 straight matches. Now, 5 women inside the attack line almost always. It's a thing of beauty. As we looked at it before, you saw all the Chinese girls lining up on that left side. And then, of course, Souza just swings it over to the left where they get the isolation. A blast into the backcourt, and this is the problem with Brazil. When they gamble with 5 women up front, you leave 1 lady only, that's Sergei, to handle the entire backcourt. It's not enough. Yeah, Sergei probably the best libero in this tournament, but that's a whole lot to ask of her to cover the whole backcourt by herself. Diaz bumps. Now Souza, the deep set, and they're keeping it away from the Chinese at the net now in set 2. So Brazil giving the Chinese different looks. Yes, they are. And then China, in response to that, is just trying to crowd a little bit closer to the net. As you mentioned, Sean, they do have a higher spike, and, you know, the height advantage just is negligible, really, 183 to 182. Caldera handles the shot from Wong, and that was going to carry well past the end line, but Raquel Silva will pick up the kill. Some mental problems starting to creep into the Chinese game now. Watch out, she doesn't even square up to the ball. Caldera, short one into the middle, and China couldn't even get it back over the net. Call it a service winner. Wouldn't be a bad time for a timeout now. Brazil 1 point away from an automatic timeout, but as you mentioned, timeout to be used to interrupt the momentum. Souza, Conley, that's Diaz down the side, easily handled by the Chinese blockers. Into the middle for Chu, who really disappeared from the Chinese offense midway through set 1. Great recovery that time, because you can look at the set, it's not that good of one. So she's able to take her momentum back and forth to get it over those blockers. Lee right down the center, handled by Sergei. Conley narrowly avoided a net violation, but gets the kill. Yeah, she saved it, and what she did is she leaped higher than the other Chinese girls on the opposite side. Conley plays for Devenyi in the Brazilian league. 26 years of age, 183 centimeters in height. Shot over on the right sideline. Wu Yangmei on the good angle. That's just the patented play. This is what they've worked to perfection all this time during the tournament. Wu Yangmei on the set from He Chi. Now Chu, spike serve, and a second hit mistake there by the Brazilians. Yeah, on the net is the call. Bella Hober, the referee today's game. He's from Hungary. Chu, a deep one handled by the libero. Souza bumps up. Now back setting there for Wu Yangmei. Oh, did she elevate for that ball? Well, that's the way to do it. Okay, if you're going to live and die by these quick sets, you make sure that you opposite every once in a while. You don't just keep going to the same side over and over and over again, and they're starting to realize that now. Chu seems to have her spike serve under control now. Sun Yue, desperation, one-handed bump. Now Wang Li Na. Oh, and China's going to get something out of it. Miscommunication here, you can see, between the libero and the defender right in front of her. So they make them pay just when it looked like China was completely out of that point, Sean. Wang Lin, 20 years of age, but she does play like a seasoned veteran. Deep spike serve. Souza into the middle, and that catches the line. A blistering ball there from Silva.
Just cutting the angles every way on this court. Watch this. Cross court from the deep position. Outstanding.
The setter, Souza, will serve. And a deep one there. And they're going to say that was touched by China. So Brazil here will get the automatic timeout, leading it 5-4. Back to Shanghai. Brazil up a set and leading it here by 1. Souza again on the serve. He back sets for Wu. Souza goes up. That's Diaz, repelled there. Again, Brazil has 5 women and sometimes 6 inside the attack line. They can't get it through, though, can they, China?
No, they can't. And you know, they're getting pretty desperate here. The best way to combat that is exactly what they're doing. The quick set to either side, because Brazil really is crowding things up, and they're only leaving Sanglard in the back.
Blocked outside by Brazil, so China gets it on the serve, but busting it through there was Conley, working against He.
They're just bullying the Chinese at the net right here. That's the best expression I can come up with, but yeah, they're just overpowering them.
Diaz, that serve, they knew it was going to be long, just coming off her right hand.
Very early in the match still. It's only 5-4, so China does have resiliency as we look at the libero there checking into the game.
That's Cui Yongmei. Conley just kind of reached out for it there on the bump set. Hillman Caldera for Cui, played off the net. Sun Yue, but Brazil keeps it alive. Caldera on a ball that's redirected by the Chinese blockers.
Oh, excellent series there by Caldera, keeping them in the point. Strong second touch over there to the left-hand side. She's been very accurate from the left.
Negreo, a flat serve. Down the right side. You can see Brazil was thinking that was going to go to Sun Yue. They go the other way, but China goes long off the spike.
Yeah, I think China had the right idea. A very opportune time to sort of change strategy there, especially when you have your good outside hitters on the sides they're supposed to be, so we can get to see it again. Right over the top, and Brazil doing a good job of staying out of the way.
China brings back in one of their veterans, Lai Yawen, who hadn't appeared in the Grand Prix until their last matchup against the USA.
And she did a good job, too. She had a couple kills in the couple minutes that she was in there.
Plus a couple of service winners, which is surprising considering that she serves a floater. Caldera. Not enough for the Chinese backcourt. Now Sun Yue. Brazil continuing to flood that front row. Sun Yue back sets now. Free ball. Good opportunity here for the Brazilians to cash in. Back row attack for Diaz. Flies into the net.
Well, that time Brazil using triple. You saw all these girls lining up at the attack line, so triple back row hitting, and China having a hard time discerning who is going to be the one to take the ball up. So great job disguising also by Brazil.
And Lai was called for the net violation, so it goes back to the South Americans. Quick set there the other way for Sun Yue. Boy, she and He just communicate so well.
Yeah, and Wu Yongmei as well, but this on the right side from Sun here.
So China gets the side out. Short serve. They hand it right back to the Brazilians, though. Sun Yue in Shanghai has not served well.
We look at the little coach's notebook there from the head coach Lang Ping. So she's noticing some things that she's jotting down, getting ready for the next time out.
Diaz can't win the joust with the Chinese front court.
A little fingertip action going on there by both the girls on both sides, so it comes back very soft.
Lai, a floater down the side. The back row attacking. You can see He reached out for it and just glanced at the ball.
Third or fourth time the Chinese girls just not able to lay off these hard hit balls coming across.
Right into the middle for Wu. And that was one of the few times where Brazil didn't have enough women in the front court.
Yeah, and I think this is something the Chinese girls are going to have to prey upon more and more. They're going to have to start dumping the ball into space instead of trying only the short sets, only the quick sets.
Oh, the spike serve for the ace. You can see Conley slap her hands together saying, no, Not good enough.
Souza just got nailed that time.
Chu goes into the net. Kind of boom or bust today on the serve for China.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic, Sean, of these usually China, one of the better serving teams in this tournament. Not so today.
Brazil leads by 1 as Souza delivers the floater. Back set there for Wu Yangming. You can see Souza hurry up to try and save it. Not good enough. Good velocity on this ball.
Yeah, Susie did what she was supposed to do. She was getting into the position where she estimated the ball was going to be, but she had no idea it was going to come with so much pace. And there again, we see the unforced error on the service.
Second time in a row now, China has gone into the net. So here you look at Verna Diaz, 27, a longtime member of this Brazilian national squad. The blocking by Silva and Negredo.
Now you could see the Chinese girls pushing all the way up past the attack line. Therefore, there was nobody in the backcourt to retrieve that ball. That's a mistake.
Comes over for Sun. Look at the way now Brazil is sealing off that net.
Oh, they're just totally dominating action at the net now.
And we get a timeout here called by Long Ping. We'll take one too and return you to Shanghai. Volleyball Grand Prix 1998. Brazil leading it here 8-5, already up 1-0 over the Chinese to decide the Shanghai pool. Lai Yawen.
Oh, she just took a 50-50 ball and just turned into an absolute monster kill. Again, all the Brazilian girls up in the attack position.
First time China and Brazil have met in the 98 Grand Prix. See the ball from Conley. He hurries to get in position. Sun Yue tries the cut shot. Souza, now Caldera. A dump. Great diving save by He. Sun Yue, Surigai. This probably the best rally of the match thus far. Lai Yawen calling for it off the quick set. Souza now glides into position for Raquel Silva, who catches the end line. Cui Youngmei stunned.
Brilliant exchange right there, and we saw the repertoire of both of these teams at their offensive and defensive best as she puts it away. Look at her turn it inside out there. Great play.
So now make it 9-5. Raquel Silva goes with the spike serve. He. They had Chu dummying. Surigai not fooled. Now Caldera comes back into position for it. Lai Yawen. No, they'll go outside for Sun Yue. Block back. China, though, digs it out. Credit Wu with that one. Touched. We'll get a net violation. They'll call Cui on that one.
Really impressive is the Brazilian blocking tandem. You saw them go all the way from the right to the left hand, just like they were dancing together, Sean. Great movement.
Ober right on top of the call. So Brazil with 2 quick points to send us to the automatic timeout. Just as China was down here in set 1, they find themselves on the business end of a 10-5 count.
There you see the trailing blockers, though. They're just right there, deflecting the ball to the middle. That's just where they wanted it.
Silva's 3rd serve in succession here to get Brazil into a 6-point lead. There's Chu. Surigai's having a great game. Hilma Caldera. Pancake save from Cui. Now Sun against 2 Brazilian blockers. Saved in the backcourt. Caldera on the left side. Dink shot narrowly avoided the net violation.
Double hit there called. You see the ball go off the forearms into the chest. That's illegal.
You can see Lai Yawen calling out the instructions in the Chinese front court. Sun hits a floater over to the left. Surigai. Now the big back row attacking of Raquel Silva, who has picked up the pace here in set 2.
And they're lining up and coming at him in waves, just queuing up there. You can see 1, 2, 3 girls over there and the 2 blockers, one supplying the decoy. That's number 5, Conley, doing a good job.
Great point for the Brazilians. They get it back here. Caldera on the serve. You see Stoyanov, the 2nd referee in today's game. Caldera sending it long. So side out China, and they need to quickly string 3 points here back to back.
Yes, they do, and you know, they're certainly capable of doing it. It was interesting that time they finally laid off one of these long serves. A couple times the ball was headed out and they put their hands up.
Diaz winning a joust at the net with Wu out dueling her.
poor second touch, but Diaz, because of her athletic ability, able to get up in the air and anticipate a little bit better than the twosome on the other side.
Conley, a floater to Chui, the libero. This is Wong waiting for the blockers to commit themselves. Souza, though, will dig it out. The back set for Diaz. That is a beauty. How about the time Negredo gave Diaz on the left?
I'll tell you, that's just excellent service. And, you know, she had to do it blindly. Look, no vision at all. Just anticipating, knowing where she's going to be. Mark of a team that's played together for a long time.
So Brazil intermittently using that 6-2 attack. The normal setter Souza is supplanted by Negredo on that play.
Now, what that allows you to do is you can keep both your setters at the net, and then you can start lining up people at that attack line.
Chu Ai-hua with her third ace of the match.
Well, that's what they need. I mean, they're not out of it yet, but I tell you, time's running out on them if they can't get their offensive sets together.
Great dummying there by the Brazilians. Chui sending her arms up in vain, but the shot, a missile off the cannon-like arm of Diaz.
And you can just see these Chinese girls back on their heels after every foray into their territory.
Short serve from Souza. A little too close to the net. Brazil now with a great opportunity. Back sets for Wu. And now Brazil answers the call off the shot from Wu. Cut shot there from Silva. Now it's going to be Wong. Wong saved by Sergei and then played off the net. Diaz really made a mistake trying to lift that ball.
Yes, she did. And, you know, the thing you have to be impressed with is China's had their way in this tournament with these short, quick sets. Brazil not giving them any room to maneuver.
And there you could see Diaz just at the tail end of that replay, putting her hand on it. Wong Li Na, spike serve over to the left, handled desperately by Diaz. Raquel Silva's ball rejected. Brazil will load up once again. They go right back to Silva, blocked twice, but China can't keep it inside.
Well, that's unlucky for China, because for one of the first times in this match, or at least in this set, they've had the girls over there in numbers, and they even had a trailer back behind forming that little triangle to go into the offense right after the defensive block, but they just blocked it out of bounds.
Back row attack from the Chinese.
Few and far in between these forays into Brazilian territory are, watch this, not a really high set, so a semi short set that they're able to handle.
Wu's floater goes right down the middle. Negredo dummies. It's going to be Caldera. Chinese blockers save that one. Li Yan tried a shot off the second hit. Conley back sets for Silva. Silva, Chinese blocking. They get their arms turned inside and save one.
Now that's much better for the Chinese tandem's blockers. First from the right-hand side, we saw it saving the previous point. Now also from the left-hand side. And come to think of it, Brazil has kind of shied away from that side. And then again,
China sends it long. And well long, I might add. Those serves missing by a wide margin, but a much more competitive set two than we saw in the opener. Chi with the deep set, dump shot. So they work a free ball opportunity out of it. And the quick set, Silva bumps. Now He again, going to work with Lai Ya-wen. China extended, and now it's Brazil. It's got the upper hand. Negredo dummies. It'll be Caldera. Saved by Chui Yong-mei. Great defensive work by both squads. And the Brazilian blocking say no thanks.
Now that has been the difference in this match, Sean, especially in this second set. Just the resilience of Brazil. I mean, they are rock solid on both sides. They're moving well. They're integrating well. They're communicating. Everything going their way at the moment.
Negredo, who just teamed up on that block, will serve. Back row attack, saved by Souza. Up for Caldera. Caldera trying a difficult angle. Li Yan blocked by the Brazilians. China, though, gets it right back. Souza into the middle. Dump shot by Diaz, played off the net. Little ticky-tack stuff here from both squads. And there, the cut shot from Raquel Silva. Best outside hitter today for Brazil.
She has been, and what's interesting is they're able to do it from that right side. They were becoming a little bit one-dimensional or two-dimensional when they have all three dimensions working for them. So finally, they're starting to pull things over to that right side with good effect.
Schreiner working all three dimensions into that last analogy.
Without taking a breath.
Li Yan's deep shot. Again, Brazil caught. with only one lady in the backcourt, and Resende, seen enough, sends Surugai back onto the court.
And up till now, they've been able to get away with that, but finally the Chinese girls get in a situation where they can pick it off and get the ball back there into space.
Souza for Caldera, calling her shot there.
Caldera taking something off of it that time. You saw the Chinese girls diving to the ground in anticipation. The ball hadn't even reached there yet.
The spike serving Raquel Silva will step up. Handled nicely by Chu. Now she'll go up, working a little give and go. No one in the backcourt for China to respond to the Brazilian blocking.
Just the blocking at the net, just fantastic for Brazil. And then what happens is China just gets drawn into the net, drawn into the action, and then they hit the spaces in the back where there nobody is.
So set point now for the Brazilians, redirected inside by Lai.
That's one of the first times that we've seen China do that. Switch the action from right to left, going against the grain. Nice little series there, avoiding the blocking.
So China trailing it by 7 here. And it's desperation time. They cannot drop behind 2-0 against the Brazilians. So they work a point there as the Brazilian defense falls asleep. Diaz, you've got to blame her for that mistake.
Yeah, getting a little bit lazy. They've got the big lead, and that's always the danger, of course, when you're a front runner and you're up, beyond 5 points.
And a timeout here called by Resende, talking it over with Stoyanov, and I'm not sure what his beef is.
Well, I think the new rule states that the coaches are allowed to roam, so to speak, the sidelines, all of a basketball coach, but they are not allowed to step on the line. I think that's what they're going on about there. The net just letting them know, hey, you got to stay back.
So Resende here will talk it over. Long Ping has really got to settle down this Chinese squad. They've become increasingly erratic here, not just with their attacking, but also their serving has been subpar.
Yeah, they're shell-shocked, to put it mildly. I mean, they've come in a game, they've had their way with a lot of the weaker teams in this group since this pool has began, and now they're coming up against the real deal, and it's just really hard to motivate yourself in those directions. So got a long way to go.
And this really an important checkpoint game for the Chinese. They need to know how they stack up against one of the more powerful squads, because inevitably they would meet Brazil in the Hong Kong finals if both of them were to prevail in their semifinal match.
That's right. And Barros has not moved off the bench. Caldera is doing such a great job.
As we see Giselle Florentino enter the fray, 25 years of age, 180 centimeters in height, plays for Minas in the Brazilian league. Quick set there by He, and she drills one toward the Brazilian end line.
One of the few times they've been able to get above this Brazilian blocking tandem on the left here. Catches him just a little bit flat-footed. Able to go over the top.
Laya Wen serve. Brazil quickly gets it back and busting it through there. Anna Conley as 2 Chinese blockers tasted leather.
Yeah, does real well on the angle that time. Instead of facing up, she turns her shoulder slightly left and hits off the side of her hand, finding that space in between the blockers and the net.
Second set point ends up with a service winner for Anna Conley. So Brazil jumps out to a 2-set lead. We'll see if they can finish China off when we return. With a 2-set lead, that's Hilia Souza, their setter, as the Brazilians now are 1 set away from claiming their 2nd straight pool here in the '98 World Volleyball Grand Prix. Remember, the winner of a preliminary pool picks up $60,000 US. And Brazil, although they'll go in as the 4th seed into the Hong Kong finals, would be riding a crest of 3 straight, check that, 6 straight match wins.
Yeah, I think they're obviously the hottest team in this tournament at the moment.
Li Yan setting the table for Laya Wen. Brazil will run for it, not get there in time.
What China's got to guard against is they cannot afford to fall behind big early on in this last set here, or else it will be the last set.
That was the problem for the Chinese in the first 2 sets. You saw them quickly fall behind 12-6, 13-7, and they were never really able to recover. Brazil here concedes the free ball. Good dummying there by the Chinese. this is what they got away from in the first 2 sets.
That's more like it, you know, instead of playing freelance all the time, setting things up left, right. You can see the little triangle forming right there and coming right through the middle.
So Lai with the windmill action on the serve. Souza for Negreo. Solo blocking effort by Wu Yongmei, sealing the net.
A lot of heart there, a lot of heart exhibited by Wu Yongmei. He's trying to rally the troops here.
So that'll be a point for the Chinese. Lai goes right back to the same spot her previous serve had gone. And there, Brazil able to get through.
Yeah, the blocking of the Chinese, they isolated the 2 girls who were the shortest over there. So when she went up into the air, she was just miles above her and just able to slice it in between the 2 blockers.
Zhu Yunying, number 4, the backup setter, has entered the game for China. More dummying for the Chinese. Wu Yongmei goes right. Chu Aihua goes into the middle to take the ball.
Well, that's what Chu does so well. She's able to open up that middle. And there's that decoy that was so successful against the USA. We saw her working in tandem with Wu Yongmei that time.
Wu spike serve goes down the middle. Hilya, the bump set for Caldera. Wu rotates back inside. You can see her take 8 steps, and Brazil still didn't get there in time to put up the block.
That's right. And she is a freaky player. I'll tell you, she'll come and she can score real quick. As we saw, Brazil had to leave the blocker over on that right-hand side. They couldn't free up the girl there in case the set went over to the right side.
Souza, a deep set for Diaz, who launched a back row attack stymied by the Chinese. And there, Wang Li-na. They need more offensive production from number 15.
Oh, they certainly do, and she's supposed to be a big cog in this offense. We've seen little of her today in this match, but she certainly is capable. Now the question is, can China get their head of steam up and get some confidence going to match up against these Brazil girls?
Straight up for Caldera, tries a jump shot. Lee slides into place. Now Wong, and once again, 3 Brazilian blockers can't answer the call against Wong.
And she is hot, so now it's just, you know, they're divvying back and forth. You got Wu Yongmei doing some hitting and then coming back with Wang Li-na. Now, if they can just get one more girl into this equation, I think China has an excellent chance of taking this set and work their way straight back into the match.
So a great start here for China in set 3, leading at 5-1 on the automatic timeout. We saw Long Ping diagramming some plays towards the tail end of set number 2.
Watch this action again. Caldera on the left-hand side, just trying the little dump shot. That's the first time actually that she's had to do that in this whole match. And look at the great set over to the right-hand side. Perfect.
There's a good illustration of what happens when you don't steal off that net. Wong was able to exploit the opening Brazil left her.
Well, they did a good job. They sealed it off with saran wrap that time.
So Brazil taking the court. Trailing by 4 here. Trying to finish off China in the Shanghai pool and pick up $60,000 US. Already picked up 60 grand in Fongsan. And Chinese Taipei, Negreo buries a little dart to the right.
Yeah, great angle there to look at. I wish they'd show us that angle a lot. Then you can actually see what develops between the blockers and the hitters on the other side.
Negreo, a deep floater handled by the libero Chui. Wu rotates outside. That's Raquel Silva. Nothing there on the spike, so she goes dump and registers a kill.
Yeah, Chinese girls waking up on their blocking end at least, and you know, they're real tight at the net, playing very determined, but what they haven't counted on is Brazil and the little dump shots in his face, which they can do.
Negreo down the middle once again, handled by the libero Chui. Tried to push it through, the ball not there. Now Wong. China will load up once more. Wong slow to get into place, but it works.
The Brazilian girls claiming that they didn't touch it. But Wang Li-na doing just a fabulous job on that left-hand side, opening up the offense for them, which is what they've been trying to do the whole match, and it's only now succeeding.
Souza for Caldera. Goes with a little overpass there on top of the Chinese blockers. Sun Yue, how about the way she snaps her wrist and gets the topspin?
Oh, just real quick. I mean, kind of like a big fastball pitcher or something in baseball. I mean, she's just able to deliver very, very quickly, and they need her offense in this.
Souza, a quick set. You can see Diaz was not there. Check that. Anna Conley mishitting the ball, and Resende will quickly whistle a timeout here. Brazil suddenly looks confused in the front court.
And you can see the coach right there, you know, pointing to his hands and going, look, here's the way you're moving your feet. You're just hopping all over the place. You're not moving in unison like you were the first couple sets. Come on, girls, let's get it together.
So a slight hiccup here for the Brazilians. Remember, they were not participants in the 1997 Grand Prix. They were instead searching for new blood for their national squad. As you take a look at that last mishit by Conley. Nothing wrong with the set on that.
No, there wasn't. You know, the set was there, and she just couldn't make up her mind which way she was going to go with it.
So to pick up on the point, Brazil returning to the Grand Prix after a one-year absence. Last time they were in this tournament, they won it back in 1996. Bump set here for Caldera. Wong puts that back into play. Wu, just a little lift to get it over. Now it'll be Silva. Silva, can she sky?
My goodness. And did you see the way she recognized, Sean, on that left-hand side where the court was just wide open for her? Great vision.
Now Silva will go at the spike serve over to the right side. Deep set there, saved by Sergei on the pancake. Back row attack, caught some net. Comes over, Chu for Sun. Brazil in good position in the backcourt to save that one. Now again, the back row attack, and that is buried. Chu Ai-hua couldn't save that ball.
Just seems like every time they put Sergei in the game, number 17, the libero, things pick up for him. They have her out at the beginning of the set, and China coming right back in. They stick her back in, and then the momentum seems to be stopped. Just super save on that other end by Sergei.
Ball going into the net, so China will get it back on the side out.
Very important now to avoid service errors if you're China.
Pushed up for Caldera. Caldera, though, just fists it over. And a second hit dumb. We hadn't seen that really from He Chi, but Zhu Yunying will punch it in.
Yeah, Zhu, you know, demonstrating remarkable presence up in the air that time. Again, not really having a good look at it, but before she went up, she probably noticed that the middle of the court was a little bit vacant, so she steers it right into where there was nobody.
So China halfway home here in set 3, trying to cut it to a 1-set lead for the Brazilians, but Lai Yawen elbows that out of play.
Yeah, and that play initiated by Sergei again. Look at her take charge out there.
178 times she has represented her country in international volleyball. Sun Yue blast ones down the left side. Very consistent outside attacker.
And I think they ought to be going to her a lot more often. Maybe she needs to rotate from left to right. She's obviously very strong on that left-hand post there.
Souza comes back to the attack line to set that one up, and it goes off the net, fooling the entire Chinese squad, particularly Cui.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky that time. I thought they had that play covered really well.
Zhu over for Sun, and that is blocked and sent out the length of the net. Verna Diaz dove to say it, pardon me.
Say it, Sean, say it.
Yeah, save it. Now I got it going. So a 5-point edge here for the Chinese on the side out. Negreo buries it into the middle, just planting the ball here on the floor of the Baochen Stadium.
Yeah, a little momentum stopper there. Negreo just sneaking in between the two primary hitters is the third option and just hitting it down on it.
Zhu, quick set for Lai, one of the best in the world at turning those quick sets into a kill.
Oh, yes.
But there, the cut shot. You could see Verna Diaz angling her body there to over the right.
That's right. Good point, Sean. You know, you could see as she went up exactly where she was going to direct that, and you could see the vision that she had spying that open space there.
Brazil does not want to have to go to a 4th set. Here they trail it by 4, and Lai climbs over the top of Karen Negreo and rattles it home.
Well, I mean, you leave a free ball open right on the top of the net there. It's always going to be easier for the person coming into the ball instead of the person having to backtrack and try and find it.
Beautiful set and spike there. Work between Souza and Negreo. Resende's got to be happy with that one, but you wouldn't know it looking at his face.
Shaking his hand and head and grimacing. And
Yang Mei turns it around. Conley saying, hey, I was in position for that one. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it didn't look like she was. She didn't really turn her body in the direction of where the shot was coming from.
Chu on the spike serve. That catches some net.
Well, I think that's the 7th or 8th time that China's given up. You know, you work so hard to get that side out and then just to let it dissipate like that.
And what you do is really you forestall getting into that 4th set and allow the Brazilians to possibly climb back into it. That one will drop outside, so a side out results. But notice China's having to work for their side out. Brazil's getting them cheaply. And
the thing is, China needs to be stringing points together on a consistent level. I mean, that, you know, it's okay to trade 1 for 1 when you got a 5-point lead, but once you get the side out, you got to make it useful.
Now Caldera, and that is blocked.
Oh yes, that's about the first time we've seen that in this particular match. Caldera's basically having her way everywhere that she goes, but that time the tandem gets up and times her jumps really, really well.
China now extends their lead 2-5. Caldera's blast catches some Chinese blocking. Now they'll come back. Sun Yue, though, into the net.
Well, she's complaining about the second touch, saying, hey, it wasn't there, and these girls were on the other side. Look at her pointing to the sky. I need it higher. Got some trees on the other side. Got to get above the trees.
Silva serves it directly into the middle, and it catches the end line. And there are those cheap side out and points we're talking about. That allows Brazil to climb back within 4.
Well, you know, you're the libero. I mean, that's your job to track down every first hit, and then you just sort of lay down when it comes your way.
So Long Ping, you just saw her there, despite a 4-point lead, can't be comfortable here in set 3. Sun Yue saved by Surigai. And Surigai is forced to play that over. Now a good opportunity for the Chinese. Wu didn't get all of that one, but they're going to say net violation.
Yeah, this had 2 Brazilian girls, and what Long Mei was able to do is just turn the ball and take it from right to left. So sort of fake that right blocker out, and as a result, she goes right into the net.
Surigai saves that one. Souza twists around for Caldera. Chui, the Chinese libero, gets it. Now over on the right side. Caldera, though, a solo blocking effort, snuffing out the possible attack of Chu.
My goodness, hasn't she come up big in this particular match? Caldera, I mean, who would have thought it? As a result of that, I mean, Layla Barrel's still on the bench.
There's another one of those smart coaching moves by Resende. A surprise, putting Caldera in the starting lineup, but she has come up big here for the South Americans. Caldera, touch. Not much of an attack from the Chinese, so now Brazil will load up. It's Diaz, and Diaz, a blast down the left. That ball, an absolute bullet.
I don't understand that. China had that point well under control, or at least the side out, and then they go for a back row attack. And they've got 4 girls at the net.
So a point there to close within 3. Lai can't push it through. Works a little give and go there. Oh, the Brazilian defense flat-footed. China telegraphed that play.
They just couldn't decide who was going to take responsibility. All it took was for one of the blockers just to start moving her feet to the right, but it didn't happen. So instead of being involved in the play, they're spectators.
Again into the net. So Brazil gets it back, trailing by 3. And you can see them chipping away now. Haven't put 2 points together in a row, but they're getting them one at a time. The deficit is 3. Side out China there. Chui. Check that. That's Chu Ai-hua on the left side.
Yeah, Chu, just what the doctor ordered that time. As you were mentioning, Sean, Brazil starting to claw their way back in the match, so China needed an attention getter, and they get it from Chu.
Souza close to the net for Diaz, and the cut shot. Loves to angle her body cross court.
Well, she did a good job that time. Just not a whole lot of space to work with. Very obtuse angle.
Brazil serving it here at 6-9 in set 3. A miss hit there, and Diaz capitalizes. You can see her just pounce on this ball off the missed first touch.
Yeah, always it's easier for the team receiving or on defense when a ball is put over the net because they're going forward and the other team is trying to backtrack.
Again, tight to the net. Lai can't push it past the libero. Now Diaz, not in great position. Now China goes back to Chu. Blocked. And that rattles around. Free ball opportunity here for the Brazilians. Negreo dummies. Verna Diaz taking it the entire diagonal length of the court. And Brazil have climbed back. They're trailing it 9-4. Now they trail it by 1. Long Ping calls timeout. We're back in a moment. Continuing coverage of the Women's World Volleyball Grand Prix 1998. It's become a mainstay here on ESPN. Here in the third set, Brazil up 2-0, trailing by 1. Desperation defense here by the South Americans. Zhu sends that over for Chu Aiwa, and that halts a good run by the Brazilians. Down by 5 at one point. They have climbed back to trail it just by 1. China badly needed a side out.
Oh, they certainly did, and you saw the confusion on the faces of the Brazilians that time. China doing a good job disguising their options.
Going the length of the net. Little dump shot there by Silva. Bump set by the Chinese. Now Silva will go attack. Chu with the quick hands at the net. Now she'll set up on attack and catch the end line. Sergei said it's out. No way. That was on the line.
Oh, it certainly was. Sergei, little gamesmanship that time. And in fact, it was her fault because she got caught up near the attack line. She had to retreat, and it was too late. It's a little face-saving measure there. I don't blame her.
Resende. Not that he's unhappy with the call, but I think less than satisfied with the defense. Hold on now. They've given that back to the Brazilians.
Yeah, reverse their call. Now see if they can get this one. No, it's going to go back the other way, so maybe a little bit of justice, Sean.
Interesting call here by the officials. Souza, a one-handed set at the net. Negreo looked to bury it, saved by Chu. And there, Hilma Caldera blocks it outside Chu Aihua, a standout here for the Chinese.
What you got to like about Caldera, though, she takes responsibility on herself. She saw that her teammates were way out of the play. She comes up from a back position to load up at the net, and is just rejected at the last second.
So Caldera's block goes out. Now we're on 10-8.
That's right. So now we get the automatic timeout.
You can see here Resende obviously unhappy with the play of the Brazilians after taking the opening 2 sets 6 and 8. Came out flat to start the third set, and here they've had to rally to get back within 2. So a 3-set win still doable for the South Americans.
Yeah, Resende going on about the not just the motivational factors involved. It's very difficult once you get a 2-set lead to hold momentum like that. But he's going to try his best, and these girls from Brazil, they don't need a whole lot of talking to. I'll tell you, for my money, Caldera has just come out of nowhere to just dominate this match, Sean.
There you see Long Ping earned her coaching stripes in the USA Collegiate program, then came back and, as we've mentioned before, really restored this national program to respectability, taking over the reins in February 1995, led China to a silver medal performance at the Atlanta Games. A trio of Brazilian blockers, and they're pointing, saying, yes, that dropped inside.
Yes, it certainly did, and no backup there for the Chinese on that right side. With 3 blockers over there, it's incumbent on the Chinese to slide somebody over there, because chances are the ball is going to come back. Oh, dear.
A serve that was probably heading out. Shui chose to play it.
Well,
so a cheap point there for the Brazilians, and you see the score line. They're back within 1.
Yes, they are. And again, the mistake by the libero.
Negreo trying to serve Brazil into a tie. Zhu sending it up for Wong. Caldera sets. Back row attack from Negreo. Saved by the Chinese backcourt. Now Wong again. Looked to get through. Diaz pulled it back. Now Caldera. She's hungry. Zhu, quick set inside. They look to have stalled. Wu Yangmei, little joust at the net. And finally, net violation is going to be called. Stoyanov on top of it. And you can see Wu raising her hand saying, yes, that was mine.
Well, it looks like, I thought she was going to receive the yellow card there for a minute, because the referee did call her over. So she must have said something.
Zhu for Wong in the middle. One-handed save by Souza. Free ball opportunity, but Brazil now extending each and every rally. That goes long. A mistake by China.
Well, what that play called for was a cross-cut shot. straight from the left-hand side over to the right. Instead, she tries to go long. Now the referee's calling. I think China's going to serve again, right?
Oh, Bella Hober hands it back to the Chinese. I thought that ball went out untouched.
We're going to say it was a net violation.
There's Silva quickly getting it back now.
So Brazil slowly starting to reassert themselves from that back line attack again. Watch that 1, 2, 3 girls lining up. A little bit of confusion in the Chinese defense.
But now a different complexion on set 3. Brazil is tied at 10. Zhu, a little too tight to the net.
Yes.
Nice push by Wu Yongmei, turning nothing into something.
Real heads-up play by Wu Yongmei that time, because there was just basically a standoff the net. The ball comes careening off to her side, and she alertly punches it over to the Brazilian space where there was nobody there.
One-handed set by Souza. Big blast from Silva. Now Sun takes a long run at it, blocked back inside, stealing off the net.
Well, the blocking just is the entire difference in this match, Sean. Chinese girls look at him very, very frustrated. Gosh, I mean, we're pushing the ball through, we're pushing all the buttons right, and the ball keeps coming back to us.
Short serve there by Caldera, and it looked 50-50 if it was going to clear. It does not. So an easy side out for the Asians.
Ball sort of just spins off her hand. I think she lost concentration. She was looking where to put it, but as a result of that, the toss was terrible.
And a poor first touch, and Brazil can't get it back, so that'll be point number 11 for China here in set 3.
Well, you don't want to start giving points away. I mean, you work so hard to claw yourself back into this set.
Caldera. Now Diaz. Diaz, cut shot. Look to be able to finish it off at the net. China keeps it going, and they work it over to Chu Ai-hua, who's increasingly becoming their go-to player.
Yes, she is. Now, lots of mistakes creeping into the game of Brazil, especially right above the net, with Chinese girls able just to amble over into it. Watch this. Blocking really not there either.
And Chuck, you could see Rezende talking it over, a heated discussion with his assistant, Ricardo Tabic. Not happy at all, and he brings Caldera out of the game. And that really sends a signal to the Brazilians, taking out one of their best weapons. Diaz inside the attack line. Oh my, a laser beam, and tasting leather there, Zhu Yunying.
Goodness gracious.
She'll have to peel that Mikasa logo off her chest after the match.
Yeah, but you know, they grow them tough in China. That's volleyball country, so she gets right back up. She's already forgotten about it.
Conley, a short serve. China keeps it up. Now Diaz flying into the picture. What an angle for number 10.
Maybe a little deja vu from the last play. Nobody wanted to take responsibility to get in the way of that. Watch her catch the corner here. Wide open spaces.
Conley waits for the whistle from Bella Hober. 1-point game here in the third set. And there, Lai Yao-wen. A miscommunication with Zhu. And that's what happens when you've got your backup setter in the game.
Yeah, it's just a terrible second touch there. She had no chance at all.
So we're knotted up once again. Now tied at 12. Zhu comes back for it. Nice diving save by Diaz, but no one else there to handle the second hit. Great deception by the Chinese in the front court.
Yeah, Chu doing an excellent job there of finding the little spaces and taking some pace off the ball.
Critical rally now for the Chinese. They have the serve, tied at 12. Pancake save, not there in time. So Diaz working the side out.
So the last 2 or 3 possessions have gone the way of finesse volleyball here. Just little touch and dump shots, trying to work for space, maybe to set up the big kill for later.
See Stoyanov getting these substitutions straight with the Chinese. Floater into the middle. This is Wong, and that is saved by a diving Conley. Now Diaz, and look at that, ball goes skyward. Tremendous velocity off the cannon-like arm of Diaz.
Yeah, give that little set there to Anna Conley. She does a great job of just tracking down just a real hard satellite hit ball coming right at her. Able to get it back up to the front row for the eventual kill.
So now Brazil taking the lead here. Little quick set. Chu saves that. A little touch at the net for Negreo. No one in the Chinese backcourt. They've got to hustle. just to keep it in play. And Negreo. Oh, I thought she finished it off. How about this Chinese defense? Some openings in the middle for Brazil. Now Diaz glides in. You can see her hesitate, the stutter step, but she finishes it off.
Wasn't a very good second touch, but the Diaz takes a full advantage of it. She looks over her right shoulder. Watch her. Sees it coming, times that jump to perfection. Little cut shot.
So match point now for the Brazilians. Some great outside hitting as this third set has worn on. China scrambling. This is Wong. Wong down the side. A diving save. The ball may have been going out, but Brazil taking no chances now. Chu going the length of the net for Wong. Diaz tried to get in position. Diving save by Souza. Quick set there in the middle. Surigai, one hands to keep it going. Now Wong on the left. And it finally ends, but Brazil not letting anything cheap go by, and Wong had to come up with a superlative hit.
Yes, she certainly did. And the ball skittling around there like a pinball that time on that exchange on both sides. Desperation time for both these teams.
So they work the side out, now trailing it by 2 after leading most of the way here in set 3. Chu into the middle for Wu, and Wu works it back, so they save 1 match point to climb within 2.
Now, from time to time, China's been very effective in this tournament working that middle, which you wouldn't expect it. You would expect them to stay out of the line of danger and work the sides, especially late in a match like this. But going straight after Brazil, you got to like that.
So I said, too, the lead is actually 1 here for Brazil. And that'll fly off the hands of Wang Li Na. Chinese backcourt way out of position. So now Brazil gets it back. They're going to bring Caldera back into the game and sit Sandglar down.
Yeah, why not? You just need that 1 point, and Caldera has been an important part of your offense thus far, so maybe watch them go to her again if they can get the ball back on their side of the court.
Diaz on the serve. A floater handled by Chui. Zhu turns it around for Wong. Again, Brazil keeping it going. The diving saves. Zhu once again for Wong, and that goes long. Zhu tried to feed Wang Li Na, and she ripped it high and long, and Brazil have prevailed. Surprisingly easy 3-set win over the Chinese on their home court in Shanghai.
Yeah, China playing a little bit better that last set, but you know, also that's a factor. Brazil not playing to the top of their game like they did the first 2.
Japan knocking off the USA 5, 12, and 7. So the USA goes through the entire Grand Prix without a victory. They'll finish up at 0-9. And here's the way it ends up in the Shanghai pool standings. Brazil, a pool winner for the 2nd time. Earlier, a winner in Fongsan. Now pick up another 60 grand in Shanghai. And this is the way it ended up through the 6 preliminary legs of the Volleyball Grand Prix. Cuba will take the top seed into Hong Kong. Russia finishes up at number 2. So Cuba against Brazil, Russia against China. That's your Grand Prix final. Look at the USA 0-9. A tremendous disappointment for Mick Haley's squad.
Yeah, terrible. Last year, USA was rebuilding, but 2 years in a row, you got to start questioning some decisions.
Once again, the semifinal matchups: China against Russia, Cuba against Brazil. That should be a good one. First up, the first semifinal, China against Russia, and we'll be in Hong Kong Saturday, September 26th, 1930 Hong Kong time. Make sure you catch it here. A great international volleyball rivalry. We'll take it all the way. But for now, for Chuck Schreiner, I'm Sean Farquhar. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Women's World Volleyball Grand Prix, a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.